In this video, we're going to quickly create a VPS or a virtual private server that is a virtual machine running on someone else's hardware. And we're going to simply connect to it to make sure it actually exists. In the next video, we'll cover actually setting up that VPS. But for those of you that would like a publicly visible site, which is most of you, this is what's necessary to make sure that web users that are connected to the internet can actually connect to your machine. So DigitalOcean calls a VPS a droplet. That's fine with us. It's all the same underneath. So let's get this virtual machine created. First, we'll select a long-term support version of Ubuntu, which it gives us by default. The latest one is 14.04. Once 16.04 is available, you'll want to use that. That should be any day now. Choose a size. We'll choose the smallest size, which works out to 7 thousandths of a cent, sorry, of $1 per hour or $5 a month. We'll choose a server. Let's choose Frankfurt here. And we don't really need any of these extra options. So if you're deploying more complex network topologies, private networking is probably what you want. That is, if you have multiple application servers or a load balancing server that's doing SSL termination. If those things scare you right now, then don't worry about it. No need to understand any of this stuff yet. This will all come later. So if you've got an existing SSH key, you can add it here and it'll automatically be put onto the machine, but we're actually going to set that up manually, so you don't need to worry about that. SSH is the name of the program or protocol which we'll be using to connect to our server from our Linux virtual machine. We just want a single VPS or droplet, and then we'll give this a name. This isn't half bad. Operating system, that is the Linux distribution, how much RAM it has, data center, Frankfurt Zone 1. Just going to leave that. You can call it whatever you want. This is really just for you. And that VPS is being created right now. Will be updated in real time as this thing is ready. Okay, as you can see, our little virtual machine has been created, and it's helpfully giving us our IP address here. We can go ahead and click on this, and we'll see some more details about this droplet. I'm just going to call it a virtual machine, or a VM. Droplet is simply the DigitalOcean name for this. So you can see you've actually got a console that you can use to log in. A root password will have been sent in an email to you, but you can reset that root password here. You've got some power options, resizing the droplet to something bigger, as in upgrading, snapshotting backups, restores, and this is really all we're interested in right now. We want the IP address of our droplet out on the internet. If you copy this, we're going to head back into our virtual machine now, and we can actually ping this thing. So let me just clear this, and we'll ping this IP address of our virtual machine. I simply copy and pasted that into the VM. So you can see this is actually responding, which means it's already up and running. And if you check your email, you should have the root password. So you should be able to log into this bad boy right now. Okay, so I'm back, and I've checked my email, and these are the two relevant details, really. The only thing you need from the email is your password. That's the default root password, which you'll change as soon as you log in for the first time. I'll show you how in the next video. But really, all that matters is you have this VM's IP address. It's up and running. As you saw with this ping command, we checked to make sure that this IP address is actually up and responding. That's what ping does. Asks for a response from the server. And we've got the password that we need to actually log into it. In the next video, I'll show you how to actually log into your VM. Now, if you didn't use DigitalOcean, if you used Vultr or Amazon AWS or any other virtual machine provider, you'll have this information in some form or another. You'll have an IP address, the IP address of your virtual machine, and you'll have a password or a default root password, which will work for at least your first root login. So that's all you need. In the next video, we'll actually get you logged in and we'll talk about SSH, Secure Shell, which is the program and protocol that modern system administrators use to work on remote machines.